Hey guys, finally actually prayed my morning prayer at the time when I was supposed to. And, the last 2 days were pretty bad. Like, yeah, I wasn't doing all that great. But as soon as I prayed that morning prayer today, it was like night and day. I could literally immediately feel the difference, like feel it physically, that it was having an effect. And that's kind of crazy when there's a spiritual change so significant, so drastic that you can physically feel the difference. Yeah. Honestly, for the last while, it's felt like I've been sort of disregarding his purposes and plans for me, and just, putting my focus elsewhere. Putting my focus on work, on my girlfriend, on, trying to stay clean, on stuff like that. And as always, it's a continual reminder: seek first the kingdom, all these things shall be added unto you. And his purposes and plans for us are so good and wildly beyond our imagination and dreams, and we can partner with him and learn what those things are. It does take dedicated time, and does require us to actually, spend time with him and ask him questions, and, so seek first the kingdom. So maybe rather than being like, hey Lord, what do you want to say right now? And then talking about my knowledge about the subject. And sort of cheating out my times of intimacy during these times when I'm speaking publicly. I know for a fact that I should really spend time with him in general, just one-on-one, without a camera on, without, just maybe a journal recording down what's happening in a way where it's not going to be immediately posted or talked about, a way where it will be processed over time and deeply. An analogy could be like, you wouldn't really want a camera to be on your life all the time, especially like if you're in a relationship with someone. That camera changes a lot about the interaction. You always see it with YouTubers and such, that there's a pretty clear-cut difference between their persona on the screen and who they are when the camera's off. At least most of the time. And I feel like in some ways it's good to, yeah, not just in some ways, it's good to do that. So maybe either after I turn the camera off or before I even turn the camera on, I should seek the Lord for maybe 30 minutes or something like that. Something very simple, something straightforward that I can follow up on. But the question, Lord, what do you want to say right now? Still good. Because he does want to reveal his glory, and he does want to show to the rest of the world everything that's happening, all that he has to offer, and, well, maybe not everything all at once, but you know, it's the glory of a king to seek out and reveal a matter that the Lord hides. It's truly a royal calling, if you would. It's funny how, you know, these days, in the common nomenclature and in slang, we call each other kings and queens. Heads up, king, your crown's falling. How are you doing, king? How are you doing, queen? And it's very true. As sons and daughters of God, we are kings and queens. We are princes and princesses, royalty under his banner, under his priesthood. And as we seek out the matters that he hides, we become just that much more noble, that much more significant. It's incredible just how much is packed within such a little amount of space, and to realize, you know, that everything is so incredibly detailed that you can zoom up with a microscope into the smallest detail in your world and be able to see such abundance of complexity and yet simplicity, and an abundance of ways that the Lord hides himself and for you to find. He shows himself in the small things and in the big things, in the overview and in the synopsis, but also in the individual words and the letters in each word, and the syllables as they're spoken out. He is the Aleph and the Tav, literally representing himself in letters. But he is the Lord of hosts, the Creator God who created everything. So all of creation sings and shouts out the glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord is shown throughout all of creation. Every little tiny detail in every massive thing. Every world event throughout history, and every intimate moment. Seen by no one. The time when a butterfly flaps its wings and no one is able to see into the glimmer of gold on its wings as the sun reflects off of it. The heat in the core of the earth as the convection currents broil and bend, creating the magnetosphere and shifting continents. God reveals himself in so many ways. In the beautiful, in the burly, in the strong, in the... It cut off in order to... it didn't have any space left on the phone. Yep, whatever. Where was I? Yeah, he reveals himself in the strong, the weak, because the foolishness of God shames the wisdom of man. And, it's incredible. Like, okay, I'll go into a little bit of detail. I could pick just about anything, and you'll be able to see God in it. For instance, glasses. How can you see God with glasses? Or through the lens of glasses, through, what glasses are. Well, first of all, glasses, that's, an analogy of lens, being able to see. So the lens through which you see things is the way that will affect the way that you will interact with the world. So if you look at things through the lens of anger, or through the lens of, some depression or the flesh, then that will only bring death into your life. But if you look at the world through the lens of the Lord and through the lens of Jesus, then, well, you're able to see life in everything. The way that the Lord brings life to everything. Another way you could see God through the just looking at glasses. He is the lens. He is the lens. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father. Well, no one can see the Father except through him. Another way is light. God can be thought of as glorious splendor and light. And Jesus can collect that light and bend it in such a way through those lenses in order to allow you to see it in all of his wonder and majesty, in order to see what he wants you to see. There was an analogy brought forward by my friend's mom during church this Sunday, where God will basically take two fingers and put them under your chin, and then do a little bit of a chin turn, so that you're able to focus on the things that he wants you to focus on. It's so true. You can look at one situation, for instance, death in the family, and you can look at it from the lens of God, why? Or you can allow God to shift your perspective, to see what he's doing through that. For any event in your life is going to be God-filtered. He trusts you in that moment to trust in him. He trusts you in that moment to come to Him and say, Father, I don't know what's happening right now. But I trust in you, and you are still good. And you are still faithful. And then as you take that posture, it allows Him sometimes to bring you to a higher perspective to see how through that death it brought everyone in the family closer together and closer to God. About how the life of that person that lived showed the glory of the Lord, and in the way that they died, that they never cursed God even through it all. And that maybe they died in a very peaceful way. And that now they're in a much better place than before. The lens through which you see things is incredibly important. It changes your actions, it changes your thoughts, it changes the way that you act through the world. See you guys tomorrow.